Ladies and gentlemen, lads and ladies, welcome back to Slangin The Bizkit. This is going to be episode 2, season 4 of Slangin The Bizkit, presented by the Nation Network. Our incredible studio here, downtown at Wall Center, outside the Sheraton Hotel, off Nelson and Burrard. Mr. Producer, can I get a fact check on that? Is that our location?
Yes, that is correct.
Fantastic. All right, geographically, we are correct. I have my co-host coming live from Buffalo, New York. He is good looking. He's got that jawline like Wes Scantlin from Puddle of Mud. Can you take it all away? His name is Rob Lalonde from Buffalo. How you doing, my friend?
Let's go. Back in the mix. Good to be with you, Trav. Here we go.
Now, after popular demand from last week, now I read the comment section every single episode. I want everybody to know that. And after careful consideration, I decided we need to bring somebody on the show. We need to bring somebody back, a third co-host, if you will. And if you take a look, Rob, take the audio over here for a second. Mr. Producer, maybe you can narrate it. I have, for the first time ever in Slangin The Bizkit history, my podcast corgi.
Oh, yeah. Beauty right there, man. Look at that corgi.
What do you think? The girl that I've been seeing lately, she wanted a night off of taking care of her corgi, so I said I would take over, and we now have a podcast corgi, and we're going to have a boys' night out, kind of like Shrek and Donkey.
And you're killing two birds with one stone right there, and you got a friendly companion to hang out with you in the studio, man. That's nice.
Yeah, I got him even a little pup cup. I gave him 2 of them, so he's probably going to have the dumps after, which I'll have to take care of. But anyway, onward and upward. Things are looking good for the show. Outside in Vancouver, it is there is lots of snow, probably about 4 to 5 inches of snow. There's snowstorms in the polar vortex all over Western Canada, all of North America. Rob, how's it looking over there in Buffalo?
Same here, man. I think it seems like the whole country is covered in a big blizzard. We had a big snowstorm here. The last week, it's been pretty crazy, but Buffalonians are used to it. We've been out and about, moving around. Last night we were up at the Buffalo Sabres Chicago Blackhawks game, doing our thing there and having a good time, man.
Are you going outdoors? You skating outdoors at all?
I think this week it definitely might be in the cards for sure.
Dude, the skating outdoors, I don't know if you feel the same way. Like, there's something about, like, when you were a kid, you always skated outdoors, right? Like, you went on the pond for team pictures. You went on the outdoor rink. It was in, like a barn, right? They had the old, like, tractor pulling the Zamboni stuff. There's, like, a smell. It smelled like gasoline because it was, like, a propane-fueled Zamboni. And there's just something nostalgic about it. And even as an adult now, at, almost 27 years old, it never gets old. I skated, actually, outdoors the other day. There's an area in Richmond. So in Richmond, Vancouver, or just outside of Vancouver, kind of by the airport, there's this massive ditch that's just usually soaked in water, and for whatever reason, it froze because it was like -10, -9, -13 for a couple days in a row. And I saw it; everything was like clean, clear, and crisp. And I thought, I'd be out of my mind not to go skate there.
Yeah.
So I went home. I got dressed halfway. My goalie coach Brad Short and I, we drove down like 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, whatever it was. We ran a goalie session for about 10, 15 minutes. There's a couple players out there, some dude wearing a McDavid jersey, a Ryan Nugent-Hopkins jersey, a Bruins jersey. We all had a good time, and it was awesome, dude. It was really, really fun having the mountains.
Did you surprise everybody when you showed up? Did they recognize you from the vlog, and all of a sudden you're out there filming? Like, did everybody notice you out there?
There's a few. And anytime anybody sees me in person, whether it's here at the Wall Center where we record the podcast, or it's out in the pond, out in Richmond in the Westminster ditch, it's always nice to see people that watch the show or watch the vlog and come say hi. So if you see my big goofy face, come say hi. I don't bite. I promise you. I'm not like my little corgi friend down here who.
Yeah, kind of reminds me of back in the day when you and I were in Winnipeg together. We had that frigid air. Remember that? We were like had the ODR session together.
Dude, the dry air of the prairies. I think it's something to do with the like with all the lakes and whatnot. They're open during the summer, so everything's really humid, but they freeze in the winter, and everything is just dry and blistering. You take a breath in, and it just like crystallizes in your lungs. It's different. If you've never experienced it, if you're from the West and you haven't experienced the prairies, it's a different kind of cold. But here, it's like a bone-chilling cold here in the Pacific Northwest in downtown Vancouver.
Yeah, the sound too. Got like the sound of being on the ODR and the smell. You don't get that very often, so.
Like when you hear like the edges cutting through the ice, you hear the puck snapping around. It's extra hard because it's cold there and it's just really dry on the tape, and then you get a blocker save, a stick save, and just the sounds are incredible. Even you hit a goalie in the dome, you buzz the tower, bing, like you're skating outside even when that happens.
Yeah, fire and biscuits right past Trav, off the bar down off Trav on the ODR.
Man, I saw somebody
that much
comment,
better.
Dude, I saw a comment the other day. Somebody was like, man, dude shows up to play pond hockey by himself, and he still found a way to have a 12 goals against average.
That's not bad. That's a pretty good comment.
Dude, I responded to that guy. I was like, you know what? I respect it. That's a good trip. That was well thought out. I appreciate it. That was awesome.
So did you get a lot of the guys into the mix that were out there when you were skating in Vancouver? Because it's kind of rare, isn't it, to have ODR in Vancouver?
Yeah, it never gets cold enough. Like, it rarely snows. I think last winter when I was here, it snowed twice. And then this being the first time it snowed for the season, and it was like 4 or 5 inches of snow. It was insane. So it doesn't happen often we get to skate. And when I showed up, there was maybe like 3 or 4 of the guys. And by the time I left 2 hours later, the whole like the whole gravel road down the ditch was full of cars. There must have been like 50, 60 people out skating because it was an awesome spot. It was just totally flat in the middle of nowhere. You could see the mountains, you see the skyline. It was great. If you're on the video version of the show, you can see what I'm talking about. But it was awesome. I wish you could have been there.
Yeah, that would have been pretty sweet, man. Is that a place that you had scouted out beforehand, or did you know? Like,
honestly, I didn't think that it was going to freeze. My woman and I, we were driving down Richmond area. I think we just come from getting like poke or something, and I looked out the right hand window and I saw this rink, and I saw somebody skating there, and I thought, video, Vancouver's greatest outdoor rink. You got to go do it. You got to go skate it. You got to go make it. Boom, and that was it.
ODR season in Vancouver is quick, come and gone.
As my co-host likes to say, you got to strike while the iron's hot, and that's it.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
I have an awesome story for you. This is I think encapsulates my week in Vancouver. My last couple weeks in Vancouver. I was at the bus stop the other day, and obviously there's a bit of a homeless problem here in Vancouver. This is a great story, by the way. Homeless guy sees me walk out of Starbucks, and I have my 4 Trenta Ice water cups and a coffee as well. Now, Rob taught me that Starbucks has the greatest water on planet Earth. They use triple filtered water for the water, and they use triple filtered water for the ice. This is the greatest water cup in the world, I promise you this. And this homeless guy sees me walking out with the cups. By the way, they're free. I didn't pay anything for the water. And he says, "Hey man, I'm thirsty. Mind if I have a water?" I was like, "Sure, I didn't pay for it. Here you go, man. Hope you have a good day." And he takes it and he starts like rubbing it like all over his face, like just like the cup, not the water, just the cup.
What?
And I'm looking at the lady beside me, and we're like, this is interesting. Okay, we'll watch out and see what happens. A bus pulls around the corner. And I swear, I kid you not, the bus pulls around the corner. He takes the water cup and he hucks it at the bus, bang, right against the window. And with the uttermost conviction on his face, he looks at me over his shoulder and says, "Hey man, I spilt my water. Can you mind to give me another one?" Dead serious look in the face.
What'd you do? Did you hand him the second one that you had?
I said, "No, dude, I don't have any more."
Launch this one and see where it goes. That's not something you see every day.
Imagine, here you go, dude. There's 3 more. Let's see if you can do it 3 more times. I said no, and then he reached in his bag, pulled out a full bottle of Jack Daniels, and started guzzling. He says, "All right, Happy New Year, dude."
Oh, good vibes from the homeless guy again. It sounds like
Nothing but love. But that's been my week in Vancouver. But
yeah, when you go into Starbucks, do you ever get any like sideways looks from the employees when you ask for 4 Ventis free waters or what?
Oh, dude, I take pride in the fact that there is not a single human being on this planet who exploits the loyalty program and their systems the way that I do. I go in, I get my iced coffee, and I'm entitled to a free refill, and I'll sit there for 5 hours.
I'm entitled to a free refill.
It's a part of the reward program. If you sit in store and you do not leave the property, you get unlimited iced coffee or hot coffee refills. That's a thing. So I'll sit there for like 5 hours. I'll editing podcast clips, TikTok clips, the vlog, and just boom, 5 refills. I'll go for like 5 liters of coffee. Another refill, Mr. Ridgen? Yes, please. No sweet cold foam on top, please. And then the water, same thing. I'll just keep guzzling the water. It's fantastic. So then all of a sudden, my $6 coffee turns into $1.25. It's unreal.
Yeah, that was an OG hack I taught you too, man, about the waters. Because I was all, you're traveling around. Yeah, you slide into Starbucks and they're super cool. Like you just, get the venti water, triple filtered, like you said. Can't go wrong.
Especially if you're at the airports. Why would you spend $8, $9 on a bottle of Days anyway? You can get 4 liters worth of triple filtered water from Starbucks for free.
I know, but the funny thing is, man, is that when I taught you that, like, I was like, yeah, go in there, get your coffee, ask for your venti water, and you get your venti water. And Trav exploits it, and he goes in there and gets 8 coffees, and then asks for 4 venti waters. I'm with him. The one time I saw you do it, I was like, oh man, come on, man, you're exploiting it here. But it was all good.
I got like 4 of the trays. I got like 4 waters, 4 coffees. Have a good day. See you later, guys.
Yeah, I'm like, Trav's on the venti water. He's gonna go get it.
Oh man, that's awesome. One thing I did want to talk about. I know you mentioned this. See you later, Doug. Mr. Producer is out. Thank you, sir, for your service. We have intern Mr. Producer, by the way. So Mr. Producer is gone, and then we have intern Mr. Producer who takes care of all the audio in the back. It's part of the amazing perks here at the Nation Network for the new version of the show. One thing I did want to talk about was in the comments last week, a lot of feedback about some of the changes to the show, which we'll get on to a little bit later on, and a little bit about the messaging that I've been trying to share the last little bit. And I think that Rob can relate to this a lot. My message that I've tried to convey through my journey in professional hockey, whether it's being in Sweden, on tryout in Norway, in Motor City, Watertown, Mississippi, is that life is full of roadblocks, right? Things don't go your way all the time. You're handed a certain deck of cards, and your job is to make the best that you can as a man. You can't fix the hand that you've been given, but you can make the most of it. And making excuses, blaming it on other people, and not being realistic with yourself, I think is the number one contributor to not accomplishing the goals that you want. I'm going to be honest. I'm not the greatest goaltender in the world. I'm not even the greatest Fed goalie in the world. Do I absolutely aspire to do so when I was in the league? Yes, I'm aspiring to be the best possible goaltender, the best possible man, the best possible athlete, the best possible entrepreneur I can be every single day. There's a certain goal that I have. There's things that I need to do in order to accomplish it. And looking inwards, being realistic, looking at the board, what can I accomplish? What can I not? What is not realistic? And going out and executing it. And I feel like there are so many people that don't like that because they think about it and they're like, it's true. He's right. But how can some guy who's worse than me at hockey be having any success? How can a guy who's worse at podcasting me than have any success? If you have something you want to accomplish in this lifetime, you can go and do it. If you stick to it long enough, over a long enough time span, you show up on time, you do little details every day, over a long enough time span, you're going to hit that goal every single time.
And honestly, you're hitting the nail on the head, man. Where it's the quote that I remember from when I was a pro player. I might not have this exactly right, but hard work beats skill when skill doesn't work hard. You know what I mean? You can have the most skilled team in the league, but it's the team that has the hardest workers over the long period of time that's going to be the most successful. And that's, I think, what you're hitting, on right now, what you're talking about, where day in and day out, showing up, grinding, it's going to build up over time, and it's going to lead to something that you probably can't even imagine. You know what I mean? Like your path, even your journey.
The goal that you have originally, it may not end up the exact way that you want it. So, for example, when I first started podcasting, I wanted to have it go hand in hand with the vlog. I wanted the vlog to take off. I wanted the podcast to take off. I had goals of the podcast getting picked up by a network, but I didn't dream it to be the way that this has been with the Nation Network. I didn't dream when I went to Sweden that I was going to spend 2 years in the Fed. I was going to get all these opportunities to travel the world. But along the way, the goal kind of tapered, and I made adjustments along the way. And again, if you work hard enough over a long enough time span, you will accomplish your goals every single time, and you will bury anybody who is not driven the same way. There was a comment that I saw the other day, and this, it bugged me, but it didn't. And I'll explain to you why. So there's this goalie that I played with growing up. This guy played AAA. He was drafted in the Western League, goalie of the year here, goalie of the year there. This guy won so many awards. He was, in my opinion, pegged to be a future pro, whether it's in the ECHL, the American League. He had everything. He also had a lot of good looks. He had a lot of good things going for him. But he was a little bit shorter. And for whatever reason, he fell off. He couldn't really stick around junior as a starter. He bounced around a couple leagues, tried U Sport hockey because he couldn't get the NCAA Division I scholarship that he wanted, lasted a year, packed it, and now he's working some full-time job. This guy was better than me at every single step of the way. However, in that time span, I didn't take no for an answer. I said, oh, you don't want me to play here? All right, I'm going to move on. All right, I'll go play here. Oh, what's that? You're not interested? I'll carry on. It's just the way that things go. And then again, over a long enough time span, after he had quit and I just carried on, I'd accomplished more than what he would have been able to. And so he sees that, and he's upset by that because he could have been successful. And I'm using it as an example because no matter what your goals and your aspirations are, if you want to play AAA hockey, you want to play junior hockey, you want to work a full-time job working at so-and-so place, you want to be the best garbage man in the world, if you want to deliver garbage and trash, you can do that. It's as simple as just going out, doing the things day in, day out, not taking no for an answer, and over a long enough time span, you'll accomplish your goals. And I was talking to Matt Murray about this today. Him and I were having a really good conversation. And again, Matt Murray is one of my boys, and my relationship with him has really, really changed my life, I think, and turning it around. Again, like I said, he talks a lot to me about looking at the chessboard. What kind of options do we have, good and or bad? And also, this is another thing. If you want to be successful, fill your life and affiliate with people around you that are successful. Matt Murray is extremely successful in business, in life, in hockey. I want to be around him. Rob, my amazing co-host, who's good looking over there in Buffalo, New York, has a successful hockey business. He played professional hockey. He graduated NCAA Division I. I want to be around the success because it's going to make me more successful. I'm hanging around knobs and dudes that are leaving comments on Instagram. They're all pissed off, leaving a 6-paragraph response for why they don't like my videos. Dude, I don't want to be anywhere near you. My message is for winners. I'm trying to help people and try to help young men be winners in hockey and in life. Because hockey is the measuring stick to life. Agree or disagree, Rob?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And like you said it, bro, like hanging out with people, surrounding yourself with people that you aspire to be, successful people that you want to be around, it's going to only increase your, path in life. 100%. You know what I mean? Like if you're surrounding yourself with a bunch of people who are, bringing you down all the time, that's definitely going to, cause you to have the same thing. You're going to end up on the same path as those guys. So, if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. You know what I mean? Like you want to be at a table with a bunch of people that can provide value to you. And so like you said, you're having the phone calls with Matt Murray. Like what's he providing to you? He's giving you insight on his life, his career, and you're going to take, little pieces of that and incorporate it into your own life. And it's going to take you, where you need to be. So I think that's exactly the right attitude that you need to have.
Is there anyone you affiliated with when you were trying to build Buttendz and trying to move up in hockey as well that you aspired or you affiliated with that they were winners and you're like, this is a winner that I need to be around. This guy's going to make me better?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, from the very beginning with Buttendz, I was always reaching out to players at the top of the game. Like the first person who I called when I had the idea for the product was Brandon Prust. At the time, he was playing for the Montreal Canadiens. I got to know Prusty when he was playing for the Rangers when I was living there. We had a mutual friend. And the first person I called when we had the product, I was like, I got to get this in the hands of some of the top athletes in the world. And I had a connection with Prusty, so I was like, man, I got this product. I want to have a meeting. And I wasn't sure what he would say. I wasn't sure if he was going to accept me into the let me see what it's all about. He's like, yeah, I want to try it out. So he's like, basically he was on the road with the Montreal Canadiens, so they're in Philadelphia, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be in Philly, even though I wasn't, but I took a train, went to Philly, got an opportunity, went to Brandon Prust's hotel room the night before the game when they were playing the Flyers, and got the product in his hands. And I didn't know what the response was going to be, and I didn't know, but I knew that I wanted to be at that top level and be around people that were doing amazing things, playing in the NHL. And so just getting into the room and being in that environment gave us an opportunity. And Prusty was like, oh, this is a really cool product. I'm going to try it in the game tomorrow. And he literally started using the product the next day. And it was just an opportunity of, again, being around people who were doing things at the top of their game. And it was just using that. And then obviously moving forward, anytime you have the opportunity to be around somebody in business and life that are doing cool things, that are doing things that you aspire to, it's only going to make your life that much better. So absolutely, man, that's definitely something that I think about all the time.
And here's something that I brought into my mentality for pro hockey wise is I'm going to do all the little things. And even if I don't hit the goals that I want to, even if I don't become the top 3 FPHL goaltender that I believe that I am, even if I don't get the opportunities that I believe I should get with the Watertown Wolves, with the Motor City Rockers, with the Mississippi Seawolves, at least at the end of the day, I can look myself in the mirror, I can hang my head at the edge of the bed and say, you know what? I did everything I could. I installed a mindset that was going to enable me to succeed. I did all the little details. I showed up on time. I showed up early. I worked out in the summer. I worked on my craft. I looked for ways to get better. I came to work every day with an open mindset. And if it wasn't enough, so be it. I'll take that mindset and I'll move it elsewhere. And again, if you listen to the podcast, man, woman, hockey, not hockey, whatever you want, you can accomplish it if you put that mindset to the grindstone and you get shit done.
And your life will unfold in paths that you never expected. You know what I mean? You don't really realize the work will add up. And you might have a goal that you want to reach the top of this mountain, but the work will lead you to maybe a different mountain, but you'll end up getting to the top no matter what, as long as you keep grinding, basically.
And this is something you put in the notes as well, was what is Trav looking to do long-term in hockey? My goals in hockey is to play hockey for as long as I can, at the highest level I possibly can, for as long as I can. And to obviously create content and film around that, because my passion is film as well as hockey. I love goaltending. It is my craft. It is my trade. It's what I've been doing since I was 10 years old. I've been playing hockey since I was 4 years old. So I want to continue that. But as far as the mountain that I'm trying to climb, and success, if you want to call it that, depending on, because a lot of people think of success as playing in the NHL. Well, as Rob and I were talking about before we started filming, how many guys actually play in the NHL? And of guys that play in the NHL, who actually makes real big money? Right? Is success making $10 million a year? Well, you got 6 guys making $10 million a year. Success is the mountain that you define and that you describe. So I want to be the top goalie in the FPHL. That's the mountain I'm trying to climb. I want to be the top goalie in Europe in whatever league I want to play. That's the mountain I define. I want to be the top podcaster in the world. I want to do all these things. I define that mountain, and I decide where I start pushing the boulder up the hill. Right?
Yeah, it's basically what you got to do, man.
Anyway, this is not a men's motivational podcast. I promise you that. This is the new Slangin The Bizkit, but this is not what we're going to do about every single episode. I know Rob had a demo the other day with Alex Ovechkin. I got some news about me heading to Russia shortly. But we have to take a quick commercial break for the presenting sponsor for the show. They've been with us since day one, and they continue to be. That is the team at Sheath Underwear. If you're giving Brandon Prost the first ever demo of Buttendz, you need a pair of Sheath Underwear so your balls are not sticking to the side of your leg, and I'll tell you why. Sheath is founded by a U.S. member of the military. His name is Robert Patton, not Rob from Buttendz, Robert Patton, U.S. Marine. And he founded the incredible bamboo mesh technology. It's cooling, comfortable with the team at Sheath Underwear. They also have, now this is the real reason why you get Sheath Underwear, their dual pouch technology. It is a segregated compartment for your dick and your balls so they don't stick to the side of your leg. They don't stick together. They're aerated, compartmentalized, and the way that they should be. Especially if you're a man working hard days on the job site, construction, being a garbage man, podcasting, you need to be calm, cool, and collected. And you do so when you go to sheathunderwear.com. Use the code BIZKIT69, BIZKIT 69 for 20% off the greatest pair of underwear money can buy. You cannot buy money from Sheath, but you can buy underwear, which is the exact same thing. There's a link in the video description of the show if you want to pick up a pair of Sheath, and on the Apple, Spotify podcast notes as well. 20% off code BIZKIT69, and thanks to Sheath for sponsoring the show. As always, Rob, were you wearing Sheath when you did that demo for Alex Ovechkin the other day?
Absolutely, bro. Ever since you hooked me up with Sheath, I don't go a day without wearing Sheath, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Did they help with the OV
But
demo?
I think, yeah, well, I was calm, cool, and collected, and you got to be that way. But yeah, man, the opportunity came about was pretty sweet. We were out in California for Thanksgiving, and looking at the schedule, we were up in Northern California. They invited us in. We got to meet with the Capitals while they were on the road playing at the Crypto.com arena. Being there, obviously, I was excited. It was a dream of mine, obviously, to get the product in the hands of Alex Ovechkin, just ever since we started the company, and be like, I want to hear what he thinks. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, this is a guy who's going to like the product. It was really cool, man. He was awesome, and he was really open to the product. And after his teammates see Ovi trying the grips and giving us the respect of being there and everything, then all the other boys were super cool, and like everybody was coming over. A lot of good vibes and good experience being around the greatest players in the world, essentially.
That's awesome, dude. Another guy that I know you did demos with this season was Ivan Prosvetov, which is actually a good little jumping point that I want to talk about. So people have been asking for a bit. Where is Trav playing this season? Where is he going to finish? What's happening? Where are we going to go? We got the new deal with the Nation Network down here at the Wall Center. So are you in Vancouver full time? Are you retiring? Well, hot off the press. Just speaking to my agent this morning. Not officially confirmed. We need some visas and some paperwork to come through before we can finally confirm it. I'm going to Russia.
Oh, sick, bro.
I'm going to Russia next month. What is it? We're mid-January right now. So middle of February for 10 days. I'm going to Kazan, Russia. I have been invited to participate in the Stavrok Cup. I can't remember which one it's called. But it's a 10-day tournament. It's like essentially a Walmart Olympics over in Russia, I guess you could say. And the tournament is organized by Kazan, the KHL team. And they're covering flights, hotels, food, all this type of stuff.
What are they going to be doing? What's the tournament?
So, to my knowledge, and I'll throw some video up on the video version of the show because I saw some clips and I thought this looks legit. It's essentially a bunch of guys who have either played in the Fed, bounced around the Fed, bounced around Europe, whatnot, like that skill level, maybe even a little bit of SP stuff. They don't have a home or don't have a place to play. A bunch of different countries, bunch of different nations, and everybody's coming together and going to play a tournament. And there's a big cash prize. I can't remember off the top of my head how many Russian rubles it is for the grand prize. But I'm going to Russia next month. Now, again, I'd like to remind everybody, I need the visa to get confirmed, and then they're going to book flights. So I guess ultimately this is up to the Russian government to sign off and allow me in. But outside of that, this is the plan moving forward for next month.
Sick. Have you done the visa application, or what's the process for that?
So the team has everything that they need from me. So they have my passport information, they have my personal information, they have all the information for flights coming in and out, and it's just up to them to finalize the rest. So just waiting on that.
Sick, bro.
And
assuming that's going to be unreal.
Assuming all goes to plan, I am very excited to get a taste. I feel like this is something that a lot of people would be scared to do. And I'm going to be honest, I was scared at first when my agent was like, "Do you want to go to Russia?" But then I thought about it more. I was like, you know what? This is a life-changing experience. I had the same mindset before I went to Sweden. I was like, I don't really want to go to Sweden. I'd rather go somewhere else. But then I had no choice. So I had to go. There's a life-changing opportunity, a life-changing experience. And I'm like, maybe Russia will be the exact same thing. So I'm going to go to Russia next month for 10 days. And I am going to come with an open mind. I'm definitely not going to dye my hair blue before I go. I'm very excited. I'm very excited.
That's pretty sick, man. Do you think you're going to get pushback about recording and making videos and stuff? Or are you going to be like, have you mentioned the vlog, or what's the deal?
This is something that the mindset that I brought into going down and filming in the South in the U.S., because obviously everybody has guns. Just be respectful, be polite, and you'll never have any issues. Like, if you're being respectful and courteous and very polite and very hospitable or in a positive way to the people, nothing bad for the most part is going to happen. So not shoving cameras in people's face, being respectful. Let's just go play hockey. Let's go have some fun. And then documenting some experiences maybe outside of the rink. I think everything will be fine. I don't think there's anything to worry about. Just don't bring weed. Don't bring weed in the suitcase like Brittany Griner.
No, be careful. You don't end up like Griner.
You imagine they take me, they lock me up, and now they're trying to trade me for like international terrorists. We'll trade religion. His goals against the
Imagine what that will do for the vlog, though, if that happened, man. I'm excited for that.
Oh my god! Maybe we don't want to manifest me getting locked up and being traded hostage for an international terrorist, but I would like to go have a good international experience in Russia and go play some good hockey and go win the tournament. Also, I got that Res tournament coming up this weekend. No, sorry, next weekend. The Res tournament in Fort McMurray, just a couple hours north of Edmonton, for a big cash prize, and best goaltender of the tournament wins cash as well. So I'm excited.
I think it's going to be great, man. I know you mentioned my boy Ivan Prosvetov. He's a Buttendz goalie. having a sick year. He got traded this year to Colorado, but over the summer we did a demo. We were demoing our new blade grip, and he was using it for goalies. And we were over in Phoenix, and he was skating there, and he actually threw out and mentioned like an invite to come skate in Moscow in the summer. And I was like, oh man, that sounds awesome, man. So for you to have that opportunity right away, it's sick, bro.
Yeah, we can compare experiences in Russia and see how we both liked it. I mean, Kazan, I can't remember how exactly to pronounce it. It's like 5 hours north of Moscow, or maybe St. Petersburg. I can't remember.
Do you know what's the flight path? Like how would you get there? Have you talked about it?
Turkish Airlines, Vancouver International to Istanbul, Turkey. I can try to get a hair transplant in the layover time, come back, and then fly there directly to Kazan, Russia.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be sick.
Yeah, we can't all have hair as good as you, man.
Well, Istanbul, man. That's where you got to get it done.
Rob, if you're on the video version of the show, Rob is the only person I've ever met in my life where I've known him for 10 years. Rob and I have been friends for just short of a decade, and he hasn't aged a day. He looks the exact same today. I mean, a little bit different haircuts. He's gone from short hair to long hair to a little comb over thing he's got going on now, and a little bit of chops facial hair wise. But as far as everything else goes, he has not aged one bit. I've never seen this ever in my life before. So whatever's in the water, bro. Whatever's in the water in Buffalo. Maybe that's what we got to get on.
Maybe not that, but definitely clean living for sure.
One thing I did also want to mention, people were asking about the Fed, the Amesbury indefinite suspension. We're going to leave that for next week. There's a lot of Fed things to talk about. I want to mull a couple things over before we start bringing it out to the airwaves. I know I actually walked into a hair salon or a barbershop yesterday, and the guy getting his haircut beside me was best friends with Amesbury. We ended up having a FaceTime yesterday talking about what he was going to do. So I'm going to stay quiet on that. Maybe wait for next week. But if you do want to hear the untold stories from my time in Watertown and Motor City, which you will not hear me talk about publicly, you join the Patreon page, support the podcast. It's $5 a month. That's it. You get access to the untold stories. You get access to all the deleted episodes, the ones that we're not allowed to say public because maybe they're a little bit too spicy for general consumption. And you also get access to my trading cards for Motor City, Watertown, Varberg, Flemingsburg, VIU, all that great stuff, merchandise, all the perks and the price points are in the video description down below. But again, the Patreon page, support the show, help keep the lights on down here at the beautiful Wall Center.
What do you got? What do you got coming up for us?
I don't know. I got a couple good Mississippi stories. Maybe I'll save that for like a Q2, quarter 2 of 2024 exclusive Patreon episode. We'll see how I'm feeling, see how spicy you can get. But one thing I did have pencil and notes here too, with all this travel and whatnot coming up, inspired by Mr. Zach Bell, Always Hockey. You're an American Airlines member, right? Like you fly only American?
I wouldn't say only American, but yeah, I've definitely got into the American Airlines program. I really like it. They're one of the guys that works for me, his mother works for American Airlines, and she mentioned to me, she's like, yeah, get into the program and start, flying with them exclusively, and you'll get a lot of perks. And it's true, they take care of their frequent flyers, and it's been pretty good. So we travel a lot for work. Yeah, they got lounges for sure.
Yeah, you go and stay in the lounges? How are they? Give me the breakdown. Give me the 10-second pitch.
Yeah, man. When I'm traveling, I got a pretty good system of different airports and lounges that we make moves on, and you got to be strategic, but there's a couple different options. You got the Admiral's Lounge when you travel with American, and then there's also the Centurion Lounge. You got to figure out the best ways to get in and do it economically if you can figure it out. So there's all different strategies that you got to use when you're traveling to get to the best comfort zones in the airports and things like that. So
dude, you inspired me. So the Starbucks loyalty was something that you inspired with the Trenta water cups and all the free coffee refills. And then when I found out Starbucks was in bed with Air Canada, I thought, okay, I should make all my flights work for me. So my Air Canada flights work towards free coffees at Starbucks, which works towards free Uber, and the whole ecosystem works together. So I became I got in bed with Air Canada, not sponsor-wise for the show. If they want to sponsor the show, Airplane, please, we'll take down my stupid face off the TV and we'll put Airplane and Air Canada back here. Anybody sponsor the show. But
well, hey, I know I got you onto the Starbucks reward program and all this stuff, but I gotta be honest, man, I'm off Starbucks. I'm not even in Starbucks anymore. I know you're still in it, but I'm not even a Starbucks guy anymore.
Dude, any Air Canada trips I take, they give me free points and I get free coffees. It's a fantastic loyalty program. Sorry, I'm not an advocate for Air Canada, but I did want to say it. Becoming an Aeroplan member and getting in bed with Air Canada, I get access to all the lounges. I get free bags when I fly. I get a lot of awesome perks. The Air Canada Maple Leaf Lounge is disappointing. And I'm going to be honest. When I think of a lounge, I think of exclusivity. So I think of if there's 300 seats in the place, I'm thinking 100 people or less are in there. And it's all business dudes in suits. Everybody prepared to do business. The food's great. Now, don't get me wrong. They have unlimited booze, but I don't drink at all, so I can't use that. And the food is frozen stuff, so it's frozen buttered chicken, frozen eggs, frozen almonds, frozen hash browns.
Yeah,
so it's okay.
That's tough.
But the thing that I found the most disappointing was that if there's 300 seats, let's say in the Vancouver Maple Leaf Lounge, there's 300 people in there and 6,000 screaming kids. It's not exclusive and it is not peaceful. So the Winnipeg one, though, I think between Toronto, Halifax, Winnipeg, and Vancouver, the Winnipeg Maple Leaf Lounge is by far the best. It's the most quiet. It's the most peaceful. It's got a good view for the sunrise coming up over the tarmac, and the least amount of kids screaming and kicking.
Yeah.
That's my review.
Important. I think, man, like you said though, like the lounges kind of are supposed to feel exclusivity and stuff like that, but like I feel like now so many people are traveling. It's so, I don't know, a lot of the lounges you go in when I'm traveling, they're so full. Like it's like you said, you go in there and you think, oh, I'm gonna get a place, but like not a lot of times there's like a wait outside the lounge. You got to wait in a line like outside in the airport. It's tough, so I don't know.
Like I got in bed with you. I got the aeroplan perks, and you tell me wait outside, sir. It'll be 20 minutes before you can get a free water.
Right.
Are you kidding?
Like, I'm trying to stretch out. It's like, no, you got to wait in line, stand there, wait in line when you get in there. It's like not that exclusive anymore, man.
Well, and you can buy access to lounges now, because I thought originally it was like, oh, you have to be a certain status, certain member to get it. You can buy a lounge pass for like $52. So you can get the cheapest seat possible and then just buy a lounge pass. So it's like, I thought this was exclusive. Now it's all like loud and there's kids screaming. There's like dads wearing like duck wings, like the duck floaty things.
Every seat is full. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my review on the lounges. I like the Winnipeg Air Canada Maple Leaf Lounge the best. That one's the best one so far. I also love Winnipeg. I'm a patriotic Winnipegger. They're going down to 0 next
you're
week.
a big pro Winnipeg.
Yeah. I love my mom too. I'm a mama's boy. My mom's in Winnipeg. I love Winnipeg. I'm a patriotic Winnipegger. Always will be. Tried and true. You're a patriotic Buffalonian as well, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm from Buffalo, so, yeah, Buffalonian, big supporter of Buffalo. Go Bills.
I did want to give 2 quick shout-outs. I know we got a couple minutes before we want to wrap up here, but shout out to Joey B. in North Vancouver. He's a Patreon member, and he was telling me the other day he was listening to the original incarnation of the show, the first ever version with Pat Shea, and on his way listening to the show, he went to go meet a girl who is now his wife. So, Joey, congrats, brother. Congrats on getting engaged, and thanks for listening to the show. You're a loyal member, and all the Patreon members, as always, you guys are awesome. We're going to do a Patreon exclusive question and answer Q&A for the next episode. But if you want questions that you want answered, or you have questions you want answered in the show, join the Patreon page. It's the best way to do it. 2 last things I wanted to talk about real quick. We talked last week about Zach Bell. Coach Jeremy from How To Hockey. This guy is ripped and chiseled. This guy has all of it. He's got like 250,000 followers.
He's got all of it.
He's got everything. He's got beautiful wife. He's got 250,000 followers. He's got all the deals. He's driving a nice truck. He's got a ripped, chiseled body. He's living in Oakville, Ontario. He's building his own rink. He's a handyman. Coach Jeremy has it all. And I know you know him personally. He almost Coach Jeremy was almost a cop. He was going to become a cop. Said, nope, that ain't for me. And now he is Coach Jeremy, How To Hockey, Jeremy Rupke, YouTuber, Instagram influencer. What a change of events.
He's a good Canadian boy, though. Like, great guy. Coach Jeremy's awesome. I've known him for many years. Probably have known Jeremy as long as, or even maybe longer than I've known you, Trav. But he's awesome. He's a great guy. Great for the game. I love what he does, like what he brings to the sport.
How about his podcast, though? His podcast is incredible.
Yeah, I mean he's a great content creator because he understands the game from a player's perspective, and he's really good, man. Like Jeremy, don't put it by. Like I've played against him in a couple pickup games, and like you mentioned, he keeps himself in great shape. He's really fast. He's a good player. Shout out to Jeremy. He's actually a long time ago he reached out to me and was like, hey, you want to make some videos together? And he put me in a couple of his videos. We did like I still get people coming up to me all the time and like, oh, I saw you and Coach Jeremy we tested the old skates video, and that was so fun to work with him just to see how he creates his content and how he builds his channel. And at first, you don't know these guys, and like from my perspective, I played the game and I'm always interested, like, can these guys actually play? And so I was interested to see what Jeremy's game was like. But having played against him, he's got the moves, he trains hard, and like you said, he keeps himself in great shape, and he does it the right way, man, for sure.
Jeremy's an OG. Jeremy, we would love to have you in the podcast. Any of the major influencers, we want to get you on the show. Come on down here to downtown Vancouver at Wall Center at the Nation Network Production Studio. We'd love to have you on the show. Please come on down. Rob, any closing comments? I know we got a couple minutes left. I want to wrap up the show real quick here.
Like I hear quotes all the time, and I would like to leave with a quote that my old boss when I was working in New York City before I started Buttendz, he used to tell me, just a quote for you guys is, yesterday's news wraps today's dead fish. That was his quote. That was basically like, don't sit back and rest on your laurels of things that you did yesterday. Like, yeah, that's cool. You did it. But like now it's like, what are we doing today? And what are we doing moving forward? That's something that stuck with me. So
that's a good one. That's a good one. Well, if you are new joining the show, listen to the podcast, subscribe, because we do new episodes every single Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 in Winnipeg, 9 in Calgary, 8 on the West Coast and the Pacific Northwest here in downtown Vancouver. It's available on Apple, Spotify, the video version as well on YouTube. On behalf of my co-host, Rob Lalonde, in Buffalo, New York, myself, Travis Ridgen, former FPHL professional goaltender, on behalf of Mr. Producer in the production booth, thank you for listening to Slangin The Bizkit, and we look forward to seeing you next week, as we always do. We'll talk to you then. Woo! Mr. Producer, how we do?
Sounded good.
Do we? What?